TikTok the last few days. So we just thought that we'd come on here. We've got a few of the presses with us. We've got some transfers, so we can answer any of your questions that you've got. And just have a nice chill Friday lunchtime Q&A.
Yeah, so anything you want to know, anything you want to see transfer-wise, anything you want to see applied. Think of those difficult problems you've got in your workspace you'd wish you could have an answer to. We're going to try and answer them today, so just there's no question too stupid, basically.
Cool. Okay, so I'm just going to check if we've got any questions going on. Come through. I'm just going to grab my laptop, actually.
Okay, so what does the first question say there? So someone is looking at getting their first cutter, and they would. Which one would you suggest? Okay, let me grab. Yes, grab the cutter. So, if you are thinking about going down the vinyl route with your business, just to remind everyone, this is where you get rolls of raw material, and you kind of buy it by the meter. Traditionally, it's 50 centimeters wide, 1 meter long, and it's between normally about 25 meters for a roll. So basically, all you need to do is you get a cutter like this one. So this is the Silhouette Cameo 4, which are all in stock.
Sorry, I'm holding it on the wall.
You can just about to see that. So you have a clear mat that you place on here, and then what you do is you put your vinyl face down, and you open up Silhouette Studio, which is a free piece of software you get with every cutter. It's free to download even without a cutter. So if you're thinking about getting a cutter, download Silhouette Studio first, so you can have a little bit of a play around with it. Then what you can do is basically open up your Silhouette Studio, and you can see your clear mat, which has a grid on it. And so you can replicate, you've got what you have in front of you, what you have on the screen. You upload your design. It's very important you flip it, because you're going to be cutting into the back of it.
We've made that mistake many times.
We all have, then you click send, and then that will go, basically just tell this thing here, it has a tiny little blade. So just
you put it out a bit. Oh, there you go.
There we go. So let's see if I can show that to everyone. So you get this tiny, tiny blade. Make sure everyone can see that, okay?
Go left a bit, there you go.
There we go. It's got the tiniest little blade on this, and this goes into the back of a roll of vinyl and etches out your design. And then all you need to do is pull away the excess, and that's it, you're done. So I think I might have
that's rather fitting. I've just seen, was that Ellen say hi? I think I've just seen Ellen, hello. We've had a question on the 3D vinyl, so just as a touch point on that.
Yeah, so basically, when you've etched out your design, see if you can see it in the light there. There we go.
You're showing it to the screen, not the camera.
So you've got a nice etch in the background. All you do then is once you put your design, it tends to be one color here. So if you do multicolour stuff, that's when you need to go for transfers. Oh, there we go. Someone is asking about 3D vinyl, which is the one I've got in my hand here. So I'll answer that question in a sec from Instagram. All you do is you've got this clear carrier here, which if I had any nails.
Do you want me to do it? Do you want to swap?
There we go. You need an LED reader, that's all. Then all you need to do is you pull away everything you don't want, just like that. Pick out the bits you don't want. Weed it away. And then you're left with your design. Just like that.
I might move that camera a bit closer, actually.
Which you can put under a heat press. So you do this for, this one in particular is 155 degrees centigrade for 20 seconds. And then all you need to do is, that's it. You let it go cold and you peel it. So that's really how easy it is to do vinyl. And a lot of people tend to start out with vinyl because you can do one at a time. So if you're just doing one, you want to do some test runs, especially with single color products. It's a really great way to get in the game and get started. And a machine like this is between 300 and 400 pounds for a starter machine, and they tend to have multiple sizes. So depending on what you're thinking of doing, how big your design's going to do, there's lots of options that go up that kind of suit your price range. Or if you want a really sort of high-tech machine, because you're doing lots of this, lots of one-off designs, we have a machine called the Graphtec C7000, which can do these at really fast rates, and you can just put a whole roll of 25 meters in, walk away and let it do its thing. But to go back to the question we had about cutting 3D vinyl with either a Silhouette, or in this particular instance, the question was from a Cricut user. The answer is yes, you can do it, but we would not recommend cutting 3D vinyl. So if anyone who's never used 3D vinyl is 10 times thicker than standard vinyl. So it's really chunky, and it's going to really make your Cricut or Silhouette blade really work hard. So if you're thinking of doing it, you need to either, if it's Silhouette, you want to be using the ratchet blade, which is an extra thick blade. It can cut harder. So that way it can be a bit tougher and it can work around this thicker material. But because it has a slightly slower motor than perhaps a professional machine like a Graphtec, and this is true of cricket as well, is that it struggles with some of the more intricate designs. So it really depends on your design type. If it's just something quite chunky like this, then you could do it on a silhouette or a cricket. If you start to get more complicated, you might find that you'll struggle, especially if you're going to do lots of them, you'll wear down that blade really quickly because it's not as powerful as a Graphtec machine, or it doesn't have the different blade types. In the more expensive machines, you have different angles of blades, which allow you to do different types of cutting and work with different types of materials. So we have particular blades that we recommend for using high build with. So your answer is yes to start off with, but if you're going to do it seriously and really scale that, then I'd look at investing in a more expensive machine.
So for beginners, definitely this one.
Yeah.
Silhouette Cameo, very good place to start. I'm just going to put this down because
yes.
it's the lightest thing to hold ever.
Okay, so thank you for those 2 questions. What else have we got? Anyone else with some questions? Who's next?
I'm just going to move this one in slightly because we're not really capturing everyone.
Okay.
There we go. Let's try that.
So someone would like to know, what is the difference between basic film and flex vinyl?
Sports film, I think. Okay.
Okay.
So basic film, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the cheaper option. So sports film is has a bit more of a premium finish if you're creating garments that you want to last a long time. So if someone comes to you and just wants a cheaper option for like a hen or a stag do or like a one-off novelty t-shirt, basic film would probably be the way to go because it's not going to be washed over and over again. And the quality of it isn't as important. Whereas if you're creating something that needs to last longer, I'd definitely recommend sports film over basic film. So quality, really, it's just the next level up.
Yeah, so for anyone that's never used our vinyl before, Sports Film Extra, which is basically our flex vinyl, as some of you might know, but it's a cotton and polycotton vinyl. And if you're looking to do long-lasting design, Sports Film Extra is the leading flex heat transfer vinyl that's available anywhere in the world. Sometimes it's referred to as Ultra Weed in the US, but it's the same product. So it's basically you have the biggest color range available anywhere. It's over 40 colors now. I think it might be 45 to 50. Because we're just introducing new colors. It's easier to weed than anything else because of the technology that we put into it. But it also has some really great fusing properties because actually it peels hot and you only have to fuse it for 5 seconds. So it's the quickest fusing vinyl as well. So this is a real professional's choice because you can do so much with it. You've got such a big color range. We've also color matched all of the colors in Sports Film Extra on our ink range on 1 to 5 colors, screen transfers as well. So you can mix and match. And basic film tends to have sort of like around 10 colors at most. It's a very good product, but it's a really good starter product. If you've never used vinyl before, play around with basic film. But if you're looking to do lots of different vinyl products, then you need to be using sports film because that is the most durable. It's the longest lasting. And it's got the best color range out of everything. And it means as well, if you're looking for a stretchy vinyl, you have a matching set. You have Premium Plus, which basically has the same colors as sports film, but with 4-way stretching as well. So you've got options. No matter what your customer asks you to put something on, you've got it covered.
I just wanted to touch as well, while we're on the topic of vinyl, we've been picking our Christmas favourites this week. So we've got, I believe this is the vintage gold one and green glitter. Very, very nice colours there. And we've also got the hollow white, which is, if you can see in that light, has a really nice shimmer to it. And then obviously red and gold. But Christmas colour-wise, if you haven't started thinking about that already, I'd really recommend. I know we talk a lot about transfers for Christmas, but there are some really great effects that you can do with this glitter vinyl as well. So
there's over 60 glitter colours now, so there's definitely an option for everyone there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got a couple of questions here.
We have one from Mickey who says, "Hi guys, I'm about to send some more designs for you to print and was wondering what the best transfer for me to use and cost effective as I have over 500 designs to eventually get printed." Oh,
okay, good. Okay, so Mickey, the easy answer is really let the design dictate what you're trying to do. So we have a few different options, and if you've got 500 designs, probably you're going to be doing mostly volume, I would assume. Let me know if I'm incorrect on that one. But when you go onto a website, you've got our direct-to-film product, which has got Ultra Color Max, which is really good if you're doing really short-run stuff. So you might want to sample a few of your designs, especially if they're full color with Ultra Color Max to get started, just to see how they look on T-shirts if you've never printed them before. So that would be one thing. But then you have two main core products. So you have 1 to 5 color, and then we have Ultra Color. So if your design is 1 color or 2 colors and they're block colors, then go with 1 to 5 color screen transfers, because you're going to get the best price point. It's going to be, really high premium finish, and that's going to be the best option for you. If your design has more than 3 colors or it's got tones and gradients, then I would move it over to Ultra Color, because you're going to get the best price point. But you're going to be able, that can handle all the different tones and gradients where the screen product can't. In terms of how it's actually going to end up for your customer, so you can mix and match these two. They both feel really soft. They both feel like part of the garment. They both have been commercially wash tested to last a lifetime of the garment. So there's no difference in terms of quality, in terms of feel. They're both as good as it gets when it comes to a premium product. Just really a case of one technology is good for tones and gradients and like unlimited colors, and one is perfect if you're just doing simple 1 color slogan stuff or neck labels or something like that, when you only really need 1 or 2 colors, or if you want it to be Pantone matched. So when you upload your design, has it got more than 2 colors, go with Ultra Color. If it's got tones and gradients, go with Ultra Color. If it's just got 1 color, go with 1 to 5 screen. Both really easy to use. They just have slightly different temperatures. But we always give you instructions whenever you order from us, then you can be absolutely covered that way. So, but if in doubt, send us an email, message us on Facebook, Instagram, wherever you want to do. Say, here's my design. Which one would you recommend? And we'll just be, this is the one you want to pick. That we're very honest about that.
And in terms of volume as well, like you've said, if you're ordering 500, the more sheets you order, the lower your price point is with screen and ultra. So the fact that you've got a big order to do, that will bring your cost per sheet down anyway. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, Ultra Color and 1 to 5 screen are much more scalable than the Ultra Color Max products. That's probably going to be the best products for you, Mickey.
I'm just going to check to see if we've got any more on
we did have a question there about leather.
Shaker Clothing says, thank you, love your gang sheets. We love gang sheets too. Leather. No, that was the cricket one. So bear with us, everyone.
That's right. Yeah, they're on about leather.
Will HTV stick to leather? Good question.
The answer is yes. HTV and transfers will apply on just about any material, any fabric that can take heat. The more complicated the material, the more tricky it is to do it, but everything is possible. With something like leather, there's a few different tricks and tips you tend to go for. For one, I would probably go with a stretchy vinyl or a transfer. Every transfer has stretch in it, so a transfer will be fine. I'd probably go something like Premium Plus, because it has a slightly more matte finish to it, and it has a bit more stretch in it. So depending on what type of leather product it is we're talking about, it'd be easier to use. So the other thing is, I'm just going to grab one of our handy tools. Bear me one moment.
Oh, what are you going to get? Curious now what Andy's doing. Oh, okay.
So what we tend to recommend is, if you're going to be doing something on leather, we tend to recommend using something like a grip flex pad. So these are about 50, 60 pounds on the website, targettransfers.com. But what this does is adds an extra protective layer with it. So leather products tend to be slightly more expensive. They're more premium. So you have to really make sure you protect them. Because the thing that, people, when they're first starting out, you're like, I'll try it on leather. And then you might put a little mark on it because of the heat. It's a bit heat sensitive. And then you're like, actually didn't quite work. Not quite happy with that. But there's a few different tricks you can try, and then you can kind of work your way up with the products that way. So just do it. If you've got a few samples of leather, always get some samples first to play around with. Try stretchy vinyl or a transfer. Do it normally with just a standard piece of release paper.
That was very handy.
see how you get on with that. If you still get a mark on there or it's not quite applying properly, then try using a grip flex pad, which is like a Teflon pad. Just adds an extra protective layer that will just stop the scorching or stop the heat platen on the top coming through and marking the bottom platen. Then if that works, you tend to have to play around with temperature. You might need to put this up 5 degrees, 10 degrees. It really depends from product to product, if the leather's been coated or not, how vintage leather might be. There's lots of variables here, but if you're prepared to test and test and test, you will find a way that works for you. And then once you've done it once and you've done it right, then you can lock that recipe in. Yeah, that's how I'm going to apply on leather every single time. But absolutely, it's possible. You're just going to have to test. my instinct would tell me that you're probably going to need a grip flex pad to do it with. But try it with just release paper and then keep building in different products so that you can find the right recipe.
I'm curious as well, for everyone that's watching this live, comment the weirdest thing you've ever heat printed onto, and we'll shout a few of them out and give other people ideas, because I'm curious to hear what everybody is doing. So drop comments on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, as to what the oddest thing you've ever heat printed onto is. Okay, have we got any more questions on the YouTube or Facebook side of things? Yes, we do. I have a cover for my bottom platen. Do you have them for the top? And do you need to adjust the settings if you're using one? Very good question. Yes, we do have a upper platen protection. I thought you had one there.
Anyone that's never seen a lower platen, which we've talked about a lot recently.
There we go.
That's what a press looks like normally. You've got the blue foam pad on the bottom. We always recommend putting a quick slip cover on because it's really good for productivity and efficiency, and makes everything quicker.
And it protects the platen as well, which is part of the reason I think people would want it for the top platen. In case you accidentally get any sort of transfer, adhesive, ink, anything from the garment on the top platen, it just keeps it clean. We do have them for the top platens. We only have them in 40 by 50 sizing though, is that correct? We only have one size in the upper platen, don't we?
I think so.
I think it's 40 by 50, but yes, we do have them. Regarding settings, my instinct would be that you would have to adjust them slightly because you've now got a layer in between the heat and the garment and transfer you're fusing. How much would you recommend?
It really depends as well what you're going to be putting up in the platen as well. So it's a bit like, say if you go from a t-shirt to a hoodie, obviously you've got more material inside there, so there's more resistance when you're putting the press down. And exactly the same with their top platens. So you're putting more material, so when this comes down, you're putting more inside there. So you're going to definitely have to play around with the pressures a bit to make sure that it still goes in nicely. You probably have to loosen off a bit. But if you've got a good heat press where you can get pressure readout, that way you still want to make sure the actual pressing is done on medium if it's a vinyl or a transfer. But in terms of use of it, it really depends on as well. Just the one thing to flag: not everyone needs an upper platen. It's mostly if you're doing.
Everyone needs an upper platen.
Not everyone needs.
You're not getting very far if you don't have an upper platen.
It's mostly like direct to garment printers that tend to use them. If you're just doing transfers of vinyl, it really depends on how dyed the garments are. It tends to be on whether you need one or not. If you're just doing white t-shirts and black t-shirts, you don't always need one, but I would say everyone needs a lower protect just because it's so much quicker and easier than any other way.
Definitely agree.
If you would like to see that in action, we've got a live video from a few weeks ago when we went through how to do productivity hacks with the lower quick slip, and I think we saved even the smallest printer about 10 days a year, and the bigger printers about 55 days. So there's some really good gains
video.
in there.
Yeah, that's I think it's on a 2-minute Tuesday, somewhere along the lines. We did how to save 55 days a year. So that's on our YouTube channel if anyone wants to go and check that out. It's 2 minutes of your day and it could save you quite a few weeks a year. 5 weeks a year potentially, at least 2. We've had another one on Instagram.
I think there's a few on there, isn't there?
Bear with us, YouTube. Is there anything new vinyl-wise coming soon? Colours, thicknesses, etc. Oh, someone said suede shoes. That's good.
Yeah.
How on earth did you do that?
So I reckon that would be the Grip Flex again for suede shoes. That's a good one for use on suede.
Good afternoon,
velvet, fleeces as well. It works really well on.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got 2 questions. Jump in with the first one. Anything new for vinyl? We did have some new. We've got new high build colours. So gold and silver for the thickest HTV that we've got.
Which we launched last Friday. So they're really brand new. Which we launched
last Friday. So yes, very, very new. How new are the newest sports film colours?
A couple of weeks.
Yeah, we've got
about 6 or 7 new colours in sports film.
Yeah. Premium Plus as well, or just sports film?
Premium Plus as well, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Sports film and Premium Plus.
Yeah, it's a new orange, new brown.
Isn't that like a creamy beigey one?
Yeah, beige one. I think there's a new pastel yellow in there as well.
Yeah.
And there was like a dark blue one, which is really nice too.
Oh, navy. Okay.
Yeah, so.
Cool. Yes. So there are new vinyl colours. If you want close-ups on those, I think there are a couple of reels on our Instagram actually where we use new high build on hats. for silver and gold. So go and check those out. We will be adding close-up images to the website soon so that you can actually see those like properly before buying. And then we had another question from B. Davies, who says, good afternoon to you all. Good afternoon. Can you put transfers onto body warmers? That's a good question.
Yeah, body warmers, as long as it's a, again, as long as it's a fabric or textile that can take heat, you can do it. It really depends on the makeup of the body warmer. If we're talking like a body warmer that's more like a puff jacket type material, then you can do it. It takes a bit of testing to do it. The harder, more heat sensitive fabrics, again, a bit like the leather, you have to play around with them a bit. In an ideal world, the body warmer might have one of the secret pockets where you can do the zip inside, so you can isolate that area, because obviously you don't want to apply heat to everything that's heat sensitive.
Especially if it's really puffy.
Yeah, if you put like a 10 by 10 centimeter platen on your Hottronics press, and then you can isolate that area. And then it really depends on how heat sensitive that material is. So I'd start off with a new platen, then I'd try Griplex. And if neither of those work, then I would try a power platen, because that has lower heat. So that way you're going to take the heat off the top a bit and go from the inside. But it really depends on how accessible the body warmer is. But if in doubt, again, send us a question and we can have a look into it for sure.
We've got some more questions on, I think that one's YouTube. Another one from Mickey. If I get multiple different designs, is there a minimum order for each design, or can they be grouped together on one sheet? They can be grouped together on one sheet. This is what we call a gang sheet, and we really encourage people to do this because it means you can get more than one design on a sheet, obviously, but you don't pay any more for that. So if you're buying an A3 sheet, for example, and you put one design versus 10 designs on there, you're paying 10 times less for each of those designs once they get printed. Okay, we've had a slight issue with the camera there. That one's gone off. Beth, would you mind just changing camera battery for me? Bear with us, YouTube. I'm pretty sure everyone can probably still hear us. So if you could go with the audio for about 2 seconds, we'll be back on the live. I'll keep answering your question, Mickey. So yes, you need to use gang sheets. Or you can either upload your different designs into EasyView one by one, or you can create your gang sheet in like Illustrator or something separately and then load them back up. There is no difference in as I say, pricing for it. You can do it with ultracolor and with screen. Is there anything else that I need to add on gang sheets?
Yeah, like I say, if you're doing sampling, Mickey, try doing it with ultracolor max. If you've only got one of every single design, you're like, actually, I don't need 10. Then, but you could have an order with multiple different transfer types on it. So you could have like a few orders of screen, a few orders of ultracolor, a few orders of ultracolor max. We'll print whatever the work is for you. So to make it work for you.
We'll mention as well that the minimum order of 10 is for that particular sheet. So you couldn't order like 10 of one design, 10 of another, 10 of another. They would all need to be a minimum of 10 for one sheet. So you could order like minimum of 10 for 10 different designs and get 100 sheets, if that makes sense. But the minimum of 10 is for one design. So then you add more on, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Oh dear, camera's a bit skew.
There we go. We're
back on, but we're a bit wonky.
Someone on Instagram as well just mentioned that they've been using gang sheets already, and they're making quite a bit of savings on that. So it's definitely the most cost-effective way. Just remember, Mickey, when you're building your gang sheet, which we'd encourage you to do, is to make it really easy for yourself to cut out. So when you're building it, don't put as many images on there as you want. We're not going to charge you extra for the more images you put on there. But make sure that you have made it easy. So you've got enough scissor line to go through. And then you also make it easy. So try and build it like a grid. So you're not going to spend half an hour cutting everything out. You just want to do a couple of cuts and then you're done. Because that way you're not going to make money by standing there cutting out gang sheets. You need to make sure they're easy for you to use.
Brilliant. Do we have any more? I think I'm just going to double check. Instagram. No, we're caught up on Instagram. Do we have any more on Facebook? We do. Okay. Really want to attend the Bella Canvas event, but I'm working. Is it just a daytime event? I'm very excited about this. It's just under 2 weeks until the event. The good news is for you is that no, we are doing an afternoon and an evening slot. So the afternoon event is very nearly sold out, but the evening event we have a few spaces for. I think it's over half, but we have got some spaces.
There's only about 3 left for the afternoon, I think, at this point.
Yeah, the afternoon ones went very, very quickly. But yes, evening event, we have, I think it's from like 7:30. So I'll double check that time, but it's it's definitely in the evening. So if you're working in the day and this is a bit of a side hustle project for you that you want to check out, definitely come along to the evening event. We do also have, for if you're like wanting to test out the new garments, we're going to be giving away goodie bags, which is something we haven't actually mentioned yet. So this is a live exclusive with, I believe they're going to have some of the new products in them. So you actually get to take them away. You can test them. You can fuse on them. We're going to be putting some things in there as well. We're not going to tell you what, but I mean, you can guess they're probably going to be transfer related. And we've also got Beachfield and Rallois coming as well. So I'm pretty sure they'll probably pop something in there. So come along to that. If you're working in the day, if you're printing, doing a day job, whatever it is, come along to the evening event. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to have presentations from Rallois, Beachfield, Bella Canvas, and ourselves. We're going to have some time for you to sort of break away, ask questions, so you can really sort of get to know everyone and the different brands. Try things out, fuse them yourself, and then we're also going to have a little panel Q&A at the end, so similar to what we're doing now, so that you can ask any questions that you're wondering or anything like that. So definitely come along.
If you've got questions about your business, anything you can do to make it more efficient, how you can make some better profits, or anything you like, I'm really struggling printing onto this, bring your problems to the event, because there's going to be lots of us there from Target Transfers, and we can help you. We'll fix them for you. So try and challenge us, try and make us work for it. But we can definitely find something for you. And if anyone that's watching, it's new to the industry, there's never been to an event before, this is the last big event anywhere in the UK for the rest of this year. So if you really want to kind of get ready for next year or get ahead of your competitors, then this is the chance to do it, because these garment colors are not going to be seen by anyone else and probably till late February. And the techniques we're going to teach you how to apply onto anything will definitely give you an edge on your customer. We've had quite a lot of customers come in for one-to-ones recently, and we managed to bring everyone's turn time down from like weeks to days. So if you purely from a volume point of view, or if you're looking to doing a lot of stuff for Christmas, we can teach you some really good productivity hacks, which will get your work done in sort of a fraction of the time as well.
Yes, so the Bella Canvas, actually, could we just pop the link to the Bella Canvas in the comments of YouTube and Facebook? It's already in there. Perfect, thank you. So just hit that link and you can go on and sign up. Tickets are free, but you do need to pre-book. And as Andy said, they're going fast. So make sure you get on that now. Less than 2 weeks to go until the event. So it's very exciting. I'm just going to jump on, moving the camera there, jump on Instagram quickly. Probably a silly question, but is there any trade show that you're at next year? Are we announcing?
I mean, to be honest with you, the October 19th event is effectively a trade show. You've got ourselves, so you've got the best heat presses, and we'll have the whole range available, turned on for you to play with. You'll have the best heat transfers. You can see our vinyl. We've got, I think, close to 150, 200 colors just out on display at the moment.
It's worth coming just to see the vinyl wall.
you've got the one of the world's leading blanks companies in Bella Canvas. You've got Europe's leading hat and bag company in Beachfield, and you've got Rallois, which is the largest UK company for wholesale to actually order these products from. So we will be at Printman Promotion, which isn't until late February. So, I mean, it's October. It's a long time to go until that point. So this is essentially your mini trade show, but it's been made to be more concise and really just give you everything you need under one roof.
And if anything, it's probably a bit more exclusive, because there'll be, even though there'll be a decent amount of people here for the event, it won't be the hundreds and hundreds that are at Printman Promotion.
No,
so
you'll have time to speak to everyone.
Exactly, they'll have more time to talk to you about your specific business, really get like sort of into the nitty-gritty things that you need help with or that you just are curious about. So you'll get more quality time with each of the companies and build that unique relationship than you would do at a bigger trade show, for example. I think
we've got a few more on Instagram, haven't we?
We have. Do you guys ever get over to Northern Ireland? We haven't been before. Have you ever been?
I haven't been. We've been over for events before, but not for a little while, unfortunately. We don't have any immediate plans, I'm afraid.
If you're ever this way, though, feel free to come and pop in and see us.
Let us know when you're coming by. If you want to see new machinery, do come along to one of our events, because we'd love to have you on there.
And that's it for Instagram at the moment. Have we got any more?
I think we've got another follow-up from Mickey on Facebook, or YouTube there.
In your opinion, what are some of the best quality t-shirts to invest in for heat transfers? I've recently bought a load from Stars and Stripes, but I feel they're a bit thin in feel. Okay.
I'm not too familiar with Stars and Stripes, to be honest with you. Again, if you kind of same answer as the questions before, I would encourage you to come along to the event on the 19th because Bella Canvas is going to be there. They're going to have a lot of their classic t-shirts that you see. You see a lot of them in retail, online as well. A lot of people are using their products already, which is one of the reasons we wanted to come in. But they are a slightly more premium product. But for anyone that's never ordered t-shirts before, the difference between sort of entry level and premium is kind of like 50p to £1 per item. So there's not actually a big gap between quality. I'd say Bella Canvas is one of the best. Build Your Brand are another one which have a very quite high quality t-shirts. So there's a couple to look at, but Rallywise are going to be here, who are the company that you'd have to buy these products from anyway. No matter the supplier, they tend to all sell through a wholesaler. So that way they'll probably have a few options for you on the day as well. They'll be able to, if you come and say, this is what my design wants to be, this is the type of market I'm going for, they'll be like, yeah, this is the t-shirt you want. Because most suppliers have 3 or 4 or 5 different t-shirts anyway. So you might be like, actually, I want it to be thicker, I want it to be stretchier, I want it to feel softer. There's an option for absolutely everything. Most options are going to be out to touch and feel in person at that event. So that's probably the best place to start with. And then, but you're also going to be in front of the right people to ask the questions about different t-shirt cuts as well. So
yeah, definitely.
Try and join us for that.
You can get everything you need to know from this event. And like I said previously, it'll be a lot more on a personal one-to-one level with you and the brand. So you can really, really get all of those answers that you need as well. We've got another couple on Instagram. Bella Canvas are brilliant quality. I use CV 3001. Yes,
yeah, the 3001
very true.
One of the most popular t-shirt types anywhere in the world, actually, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I really like their Heather CVC as well. It's got that really soft feel as well. But as I say, if you come along to the event on the 19th, we're going to have all of these garments out, the most popular t-shirts. As Andy said, you can get recommendations from different people. So if you want to come along and actually touch them, feel them, fuse on them, that will all be possible on the 19th. So come along to the event. Do we have any more questions while we're on? We do? Okay, do you want to take this one?
Okay, yep. I'm getting scorch marks on my jumpers when applying transfers. How can I stop this? Okay, so this is something that people ask us quite a lot. The most common problem for getting scorch marks is actually just having your pressure too high. So if you've never used heat press before, or you've got cheap heat press possibly, I just want to quickly show you, and you can see it on this auto open press here. So the key thing to think about is when you're pulling a heat press down, it shouldn't be hard work. So number one, if you're having to really work that heat press to get it to come down, pressure is probably the biggest problem. We always say that heat press should be really easy to pull down with just 2 fingers. So you can see that back and forth. I collapsed it there. That's on a 3, so that's kind of the top end of low pressure. I'll turn it up a tiny bit in a sec. But that's how easy it should be to heat press. If you're having to work harder than that, pressure is probably the problem. So turn it up a little bit. It only takes a few tiniest bits of turns to get it to go from some light to medium pressure. So bring that down again. You probably won't be able to see on here, but now it says 4. So medium pressure is registered from 0 to 9. 4 to 6 is medium pressure. So that is, if nearly everything we do, transfers, vinyl, that's medium pressure always. So that'll be the first thing to check. If you're having to really work that press to come down, you're overpressuring. If you're still having issues, number one, are using release paper. So release paper is the cheapest hack to stop this, and it covers most problems. I mean, an A3 pack of release paper, you get 50 sheets and it's £12. So it's really not a big investment to try that one. If you're still having problems, much like the leather or the suede shoes, try using a grip flex pad as your next step up. So you can just take these steps as you go. So what, does that work? No, try it again. Does that work? No, try again. So that's one solution to it, is making sure you get your pressure right, making sure your temperature is reading accurately. Get a cheap temperature gun, it's sort of £20, £35. Check that your heat press is actually calibrated right. It's not running too hot, too cold. That'd be one thing to check. An alternative option is actually Ultracolor, our full color heat transfer. Because these are used with water-based inks, the actual fusing temperature of these is only 120 degrees. And the reason that garments tend to scorch in general is because the material they're made of tends to want to burn at a certain point. It's normally about 130 to 140 degrees centigrade. So if you can use a transfer, even if you just use this and use it for one color stuff, you've got a transfer that goes down lower than that scorch mark of the, say if it's made of got polyester or nylon in it, or even if it's just a black t-shirt or jumper sometimes people have problems with. If you've got a lower fusing transfer, 120 degrees, you tend to eliminate most of those problems anyway. So there's a few options for you. Try either a lower fusing product or try release paper or grip flex. And if you're still having problems, it might be something like a power platen. If you think you're going to need a power platen, just get in touch with us because we can walk it through with you how to use it, because it's a bit more an advanced technique. But we'll probably do an event on that sometime before the end of this year.
Cool. Pardon? Oh, do we have a YouTube question? Okay, let's jump to this side. What is your opinion on 3D heat printing? What is your opinion on 3D heat printing, Andy?
So are we, just to clarify, Julie, are we talking about like 3D vinyl as in kind of extra thick vinyl? Because in that instance, if we are, first I'd encourage you to go back and find our live event from last Friday, because we kind of went into this in quite a bit of depth. But 3D vinyl, which we call high build 3D, can look really good on products. So we put it onto a t-shirt, a jumper, and a hat last week. And it's really good because actually the price point of it, so it's about £5, £6 more a meter. I mean, a meter's big, it's 50 centimeters by a meter long. So it's a bit more expensive, but you don't have to use as much of it because most people tend to have 3D like vinyl products tend to go with more subtle, chunky finish anyway. So your actual material size that you use per design is actually smaller than if it was with a flex, because like, actually, I'm only going to go small. I'm just going to little left chest or left arm or a little one on a hat.
You don't want a massive 3D print
No,
on front.
so
it won't be very comfortable
your actual
at all.
cost per transfer is really low, but your perceived value of using these products is really high. So a lot of the more expensive brands are using like 3D vinyl or rubber patches, which can help you with as well. But they're kind of adding sort of 5, 10, 15 pounds per item retail value. So I would say I'm a big fan of it because it's going to allow all of you watching to make bigger profit margins. It's not much more difficult to use. You can't go really intricate with the designs, but you don't want to anyway because they don't look as good with this type of product. It's just as easy to fuse. If you've got a good heat press, it's 20 seconds at 155. Just make sure you let it go really stone cold before you peel it. You have to make sure it's really, really cold. No warm peel with this at all because it won't stay on. But you go cold, it's not really that difficult to use. But like I said, we did do an event on it last Friday. So if you really want an in-depth look at actually doing the application part, then do go and check that out. It's on YouTube and Facebook. And it'll be there for anyone who's watching to join in with it.
I just want to jump on that one quickly with the cutting side of things with the high build as well. We had somebody send us a question saying that when they were peeling the high build 3D, the carrier was coming away with the vinyl. Now, because this is a thicker vinyl, obviously you need to have a higher force to cut it. All of the cutting instructions are on the website. If you can't find them, send us a DM. We'll be happy to help you with that. But if you obviously have your force too strong or your settings just too aggressive, the blade will then cut through the carrier, which in turn, when you pull the vinyl, it will pull the carrier away. So you even though it's a thicker vinyl, you still need to be able to weed it essentially. Yeah. So just be careful that if you are having trouble cutting and weeding it, that you're not cutting through the actual carrier, because we've seen that happen a few times, and it is purely because you're going a bit too heavy on the cutting. So yeah, if you need any sort of help with that, just let us know. But I just wanted to flag that because we had a DM about that the other day.
Yeah, the main thing with like any type of vinyl is you have to be prepared to spend time testing it, because it really depends what product you're going to do, what is your design. It's only, there's millions of potential design opportunities with it. It's just make sure you try and break it. I would say try and break it. Find the point where actually that is the limit at which I can take this to with my cutter and this vinyl. Yeah. And then you can be like, okay, that's where I set the bar. So that way if the customer says, can you do this? And it's past that point, you say no. But you can advise them, like I say, it will look better as chunky anyway. Mm-hmm. So if you follow the instruction, then test and make your own recipes, then you'll find you get some really great results. You just have to have patience to spend a couple of hours putting it through your cutter a few times to find out the sweet spot for you, and then you just stick to that recipe and you'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, definitely need testing on that one. We've had a couple of, I'm just going to jump on Instagram for a second. What would the best heat press be for a beginner? Shall I maneuver? Can you see this on Instagram? Oh, kind of, yeah.
So it really depends on what type of products you're going to be using, but we have options for every single heat printer. So the sort of entry level is what we call a Hotronics Max, which is available for from £720, depending on which size you tend to go for.
Which is this one?
Which is that one there, so everyone can see that. So with that one, you've got a digital timer here and digital temperature. These are all 100% accurate to the upper platen. You get a lifetime warranty on the heating element. The only thing you don't get with an entry level is you don't get the pressure readout. So if you think you're going to need a pressure readout, then you need to go with the auto open, which is the next one here. So you've got beginner, then you've got the sort of intermediate to expert level one here. Some people like this one just because it auto opens for you. So if you're a beginner and you are working at home and you have other things going on, the doorbell's going, the phone's ringing, you've got kids or pets that you need to attend to, it's really great because something happened, you can just run off and then it pops up behind you. What happens, you don't have to worry about scorching anything. So for a beginner, it's really going to depend on budget. It's very easy to pay off these machines. We've got some cost calculations on the product pages for both of these products. So if you want a bit of a guide, okay, how much profit can I make per t-shirt, for instance, and how long is it going to take me to pay off each machine, then that's a good place to start. But all of these have really great guarantees. So the Hotronics Max, like I said, both of these have a lifetime warranty on the heating element. This one has a 2-year warranty on the framework. This has a 5-year warranty on the framework. This has the premium warranty. So that means you don't have to worry about these machines being replaced every couple of years. It's not like an iPhone. These are sort of things you like, these could last 10, 15 years. You're going to have to do well and add more presses in.
Rather than replace.
Yeah, all of the sort of platens, which we talk about quite a lot on these events, are interchangeable amongst these presses. So you can have one of each and swap the platens around with them. So it really depends on what is your budget, what's the functionality you want, and then also thinking about the size of the press. So the most important thing is work out what is the biggest design I'm going to have, because that will dictate which size of press you need to get. There's 3 different sizes of heat press in each of the ranges. So that way you can be like, okay, make an informed decision about what is the best option for you that way.
Cool. So Max or Auto, and head to targettransfers.com to learn more about those. Just check we haven't gone too far back. There we go. So is it possible to embroider onto a transfer printed tee?
I see no reason not to be honest with you.
Once they're applied, they're quite thin and they feel like part of the garment. So.
Yeah, they feel like part of the garment. Like one says, they're really nice and thin. Everything's got a bit of stretch in them as well. So it means that you've got that little bit of rebound is probably going to be enough to help you when that needle goes through with it. But I'd see no reason why we can't. We haven't personally tested it, but I don't see why it would be an issue for you.
Some people do stitch through certain types of vinyl as well, and vinyl is slightly thicker, and obviously you've got the tack on the back that it might pull through. So if anything, it will probably just blunt your needle a bit quicker on whatever machine you're using.
I would say probably just give it a day or so before you do the embroidery part, mainly because we always recommend to leave 24 to 48 hours for its wash, because it's just still sort of settling in with the fabric. So you might find that actually leaving it a day will give you the best results there.
Yeah, we do recommend, like I said, 24 to 40 hours before you wash it. So similar sort of rules for that.
Yeah.
Do you do A3 screen printing heat transfers for heat presses? We do. It's one of our main products. You can head to custom.targettransfers.com. There's a link in our bio for Instagram and probably a link in the description if you're on YouTube. That's where all our transfer orders are done. So have a look on there. Send us a DM if you have any questions.
So
Andy very conveniently has an example.
So this is an A3 print. This has got 2 transfers on it. But like I said, we won't dictate to you how many transfers you can have on it. So if you just wanted one on here and it's a really big transfer, it's not going to be an issue for us. You can go right up to the edge on the design, and when you upload your artwork, it will tell you if you go over the edge and it's going to get cut off. We're not going to let you upload a design and have half it missing because you went over the edge. We'll tell you, it will flag up as a red thing and say, are you sure about this? It's over the edge. Then we'll put another disclaimer that says, you really, really sure about this? Because we don't recommend it. So if you've got an A3 print, You're probably going to need a 40 by 50 centimeter heat press for it to go on, because that way you can see here.
That takes up most of the press.
It'll sit nicely on there. But A3 is the biggest size we recommend, mostly because there's not many torsos that you can universally put an A3 design on, or anything bigger than A3 design on. But yeah, that's no problem. Not a problem at all.
Brilliant. Well, we've been on for about 45 minutes now. So has anyone got any more questions before we wrap up for the day? One more? Okay, we'll go for one more. How do I get the Christmas inks for the heat transfer order? That was the sheet you were just holding, actually.
Yep.
So these are for anybody that hasn't seen our live event that we did probably 2 weeks ago now on there. We have released new shimmer inks for our screen printed heat transfers for Christmas. I'm just about to knock the camera over. This is an example of them fused. So we've introduced a new green and a new red. They do have a slight shimmer to them, which is just going to add even more of a brilliant effect to your Christmas transfer designs. If you have ordered heat transfers with us before, you'll know that when you upload your artwork into the designer, there comes up with a color palette option. These are only for screen printed heat transfers, I just want to add as well. You just go to the color palette in the top left-hand corner, and there is a Christmas color palette next to the normal color palette, and all of the shimmer inks specifically for Christmas are in there. So you just pick those instead of the other ones. If you are new to heat printing or you haven't ordered heat transfers with us before, we do have a how to order video. Go back and watch our Christmas video from 2 weeks ago where Andy actually takes you through how he ordered this design with the shimmer inks on EasyView. So you'll be able to see exactly how to do it from start to finish. Yeah, that's pretty much it for Christmas inks. They're all free as well. No extra charges. Do you do monthly payments for heat presses, as I've just started a small clothing brand?
Yep, we absolutely do. So if you're interested in finance options for your heat press, then we can absolutely do that. But all you need to do is send us an email to info@targettransfers.com. Let us know which heat press you're interested in getting. And then what we'll do, we'll set you up with our finance company that will handle that. And we've got different options depending on if your business is just started or if you're an established business, they've got different options for you. But it's absolutely possible. You can get a really quick response on it as well. It's very, very simple. And then they'll just give you like a 12-month, 24-month, 36-month plan, depending on what's going to be the best suited for your business. That way you can pay your press off over a short or a longer period of time, depending on what's going to work for you. And like we said before, these presses will outlast your finance period anyway. And obviously, just to be clear as well, these are finance options. So you own the press at the end of this period. It's not a leasing, it's finance. So that press will be paid. Once it's paid off, it is all yours. And you can carry on. It's just pure profit from there onwards.
Yeah, it's not like a phone where you have to keep paying for it month to month. Once you've paid off your finance, then it's all completely yours and it will last many, many years into the future. We've just got people saying, thank you, have a lovely weekend, perfect. I think we're good for questions and comments. Okay. Brilliant. Thank you so much to everyone that joined us. We hope you've all enjoyed. If you do have any other questions, then feel free to drop comments on any of our social channels, send us DMs. If you have questions that you'd like to talk to our customer service team about anything technical, order-wise, or about presses, you can do so from the website. There's the number or the email address on there. Got another one saying thank you. Thanks for joining us. And that's pretty much it. I know we've talked about it a lot, but if you haven't signed up to the Bella Canvas event, please do, because it's going to be such a good event and I don't want anyone to miss out. Afternoon, evening session available, and it's free Wednesday the 19th of October. So get your tickets for that. Keep up the amazing work. Oh, thank you. You too. Okay, cool. I think we're good. Do you want to add anything
that's it from me,
before we go?
Hopefully we'll see lots of you on the 19th.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys. Have a good afternoon.